Back now with our law and justice lead. Today, special counsel Jack Smith himself was in the room with Donald Trump's attorneys. It has now been 11 days since Trump got a target letter indicating that charges could potentially come in the special counsel's probe into his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. We've got more of our panel here with me now. Alice, let me start with you because obviously we've been watching Republicans react to news of this indictment looming today on Capitol Hill. I mean, how are they bracing for their frontrunner to be potentially indicted again?
Well, there's really two different wings of the Republican Party on this. His base is going to stand by him. We can have an indictment 7 days a week and twice on Sunday until the Iowa caucuses, and they will stand by him. They view this as overreach of the DOJ. They view this as politicization. They view this as weaponization against Donald Trump, and they are not going to change. But then there are others who are more rational thinking and are looking at this. What are the facts at hand? What is he being accused of? Did he try and stop the certification of the election? Did he try to put together a fake set of electors and overturn the election? It's hard to dispute those facts. So rational Republicans are looking at this and realizing, look, we have options. There are people that support our election process and are not going to try and thwart the election process. So rational Republicans are recognizing the fact there are other options out there for Republican candidates, and one indictment is enough for them to try and look somewhere else.
Well, and Ashley, that's what I was looking at. You know, the idea of when we were kind of going back with Paula and Kaitlin on the details of will they or won't they today. I mean, just thinking to the idea that this could happen and that we are on the verge of this would be such a historic indictment because it's of a former president for trying to hang on to his grip to power.
Yeah, I mean, we've already had 2 indictments of Donald Trump, so I agree with Alice that those who are supporting him are sticking with him. But this third indictment, what it is about, and it was really about the ability for our democracy to survive. And you would hope that if this third one would kind of be the nail in the coffin to get Donald Trump out of the race. But it's not. It is historical. It is important because if he ends up being the Republican nominee and potentially the next president of the United States, what does that mean for our country? What does that mean for our democracy? What does that mean for our institutions? We already saw what he is capable of doing on January 6th. Do we need a January 6th 2.0? I don't think so, and we hope that the Republican Party and its voters actually realize that as well.
And Laura, we've seen what the target letter that we talked about, what that looks like. The idea that it listed conspiracy to defraud the United States, obstruction of an official proceeding. And then there was that one, the Reconstruction era civil rights charge, where it's a crime to threaten or intimidate anyone when it comes to the election and their constitutional privileges. If and when it comes down, I mean, do you think it's just going to be those 3? Could it have been broader? What are you going to be looking for?
Well, the target letter need not be totally inclusive of every contemplated charge. It's only supposed to give notice, and it's not even required. It's suggested that you do so, and part of maybe a hint at a guideline, particularly in a case of this stature. But remember, we're talking about January 6th. A lot of the bulk I would expect to see of any charges would be things that predated that actual date, that being the culmination, what happened on Capitol Hill at Congress that day. But January 6th, the investigation has really been about what happened prior to the election, the preparation to try to sow the doubt and to plant those seeds already, who you're going to work with in conspiring possibly to do that, just that, and what happened after those moments. And so look for a far more expansive investigation. Let's not forget, in a way, America has seen an investigation and a kind of trial on this very issue in the form of a congressional impeachment hearing. And so we know that we've seen that data out in the public square. What has been added to that to have a delay of months and months? What more was gleaned in a criminal prosecution? Because don't forget, if you're faced with a subpoena from Congress, but you don't have a chance to may not go to jail at the end of it, and a prosecutor comes and says, here's my subpoena, suddenly you talk a little bit more than you would in front of Congress.
Yeah, I think Mike Pence is example number 1
Absolutely.
of that. And given that, I mean, the idea that it's not just likely Trump. I mean, when you are reading the tea leaves here, following that roadmap that we've been provided, the idea is that there are likely going to be co-conspirators here. I mean, if there is a conspiracy charge, that's at least what Trump's legal team has been looking at and asking around if others have gotten target letters here.
And those people, to Laura's point, don't necessarily have to get target letters. It would be a courtesy, but they don't have to do it. Look, there are lots of names out there. John Eastman, the lawyer who came up with this plan and suggested it to Trump. Jeff Clark, who is over at the Justice Department. other people from the campaign who were involved in this. Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Jen Ellis, Cleta Mitchell. There was a whole group around Trump pushing him to do this. And I think one of the things that we saw with the January 6th committee, which laid out a roadmap, was Trump was repeatedly told there was no widespread fraud, that the election was fair. Chris Krebs, who was in charge of security, got fired because he said it was. And yet at every turn, what the January 6th committee pointed out was Trump didn't listen to those people. He didn't listen to Bill Barr, his own attorney general. He listened to the people that were leading him down a road to overturn the election, and people warned him every step of the way it could lead to violence.
And I think a lot of the names that you just mentioned there, the Giulianis, the John Eastmans, the Jenna Ellises, those people who had Trump's ear, when you look at and talk to Republicans on Capitol Hill, it makes them want to go scream into pillows, essentially, thinking of those people advising the president. And Will Hurd is running for 2024, but also Dan Crenshaw, another Republican on Capitol Hill. They were asked about the prospect of a third Trump indictment, what it means for their party. And this is what they said today.
If the GOP nominates Donald Trump as our nominee to go against Joe Biden, then we are willingly giving 4 more years to Joe Biden.
Silly not to say it is. I mean, it's in a general election, yeah, it makes it tougher. Like I don't know. I hope that doesn't offend anyone to state that fact, but it's pretty obviously true. So no, it is what it is.
I mean, is it pretty obviously true?
A lot of Republicans echo exactly what they're saying in private, but they won't say the same thing publicly, which is really disheartening because the facts are out there. We understand what they are. And to Jamie's point, many people told Donald Trump privately, look, there was no widespread voter fraud. This was a free and fair election. The question will be, and Laura will be the legal expert on this, did Donald Trump really, really believe that this was a false election? And did he really believe that he won the election? And that's going to be part of what Jack Smith is trying to uncover. And as more people come forth and provide texts and information, I think the truth is really going to come to light.
Can I just say to that point, though, there were witnesses who came in and spoke both to the committee and to the special counsel who said they had conversations with Donald Trump where he acknowledged that he understood. There's a famous story about Hope Hicks going in and saying, work on your legacy, move on. And he said, if I don't win, there is no legacy. Because for him, what's the worst thing in the world? To be a loser.
Yeah. I mean, what's your sense of that? I just think of what the conversation we're having and 2024 candidates being asked if they would pardon Trump if that was the case they were in office, compared to Karine Jean-Pierre today being asked about President Biden ever potentially pardoning Hunter Biden and very decisively saying no.
Mm-hmm. Well, first, the American public spoke loud and clear in 2020, whether or not Donald Trump believes in it or not, and said they did not want any more of his antics. And that is what ensued January 6th. And then in 2022, they spoke again. And while there was supposed to be a red wave, there wasn't, because many of the candidates on the ticket were endorsed by Donald Trump, and they did not want it. So for the Republicans, those few, to come out and say Donald Trump is a disaster to be on the top of the ticket, I don't even think that's courageous. That's just politically savvy at this point.
Thank you all for being here. We'll wait and see what happens.